Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make my little loom version of Charlie Brown. So we're going to need a couple of colours, a skin tone, yellow, black and brown. Now I did work out how many bands of each, so I will put that in the description of this video so that you know exactly how many you're going to need. I'm also going to use a couple of the mini pony beads for the eyes in black, and you can choose whether or not you're going to do a mouth or not, completely up to you. We're going to do this version on the loom. I will be having a 3D version, my Loomigurumi version, which is a hook only design, so I will be doing that one at a later stage, but for today I thought we'd do our little loom one. So grab your loom. You're just going to need a single loom. You're going to have it in the offset configuration with the open part of the peg facing towards you, or the arrow facing towards you. We are going to be double banding. Double banding means you take two bands and you place them over the pegs together as if they were a single band, like that. Okay, so this is how we're going to start. Now, there are going to be a couple of layers to this particular design, but that's okay, we'll work through it. So starting with your skin tone, we're going to be going down 3 pair on the side here, because we're going to make his face larger than we would make a normal figure, and 3 on the other side. Going to come down the centre here, and coming down 4 in the centre, and then we're going to go across either side. Push them down so that you have room on your pegs. Okay, now we're going to take a single band and stretch it across these 3 pegs like that as our crossover band, and then we'll do another one across these. Now we're going to put our eyes here. Okay, so we're going to take a single band and we're going to twist it once, twice and 3 times and place that across here. That's to stop the eyes from falling to the back of the head. Now I have 2 of my mini pony beads here, and I'm going to thread those onto a skin tone band. If you don't have the beads, it's okay, you can use bands. Wrap a single black band around your hook 3 times, once for that eye, once for that eye, slide them on just as I did the beads, and it's exactly the same result. Pop this across, make sure that you have one eye either side. Now instead, normally when we do this, we take the top part of our band and loop it above. We're not for this one. We're going to take the bottom part and loop it down, but because we want the eyes to be a little bit closer to the nose that we're going to put in there as well. Okay, and then I'm also going to put a band here for the top of the head. Alright, I'm going to use 3 bands for the neck, because we don't have hair on the back of the neck, on the back of the head. Unless we give it a little bit of strength here, that's going to be the weakest spot. So we'll put 3 bands here for the neck, and then we're going to move to some yellow bands. And the yellow is going to be from the centre to one side, from the centre to the other side. We're going to come down 2. So 1 and 2, and then 2 on the other side, 1 and 2. Then we're going to change to a pair of black, and a pair of black, and then the centre, we're going to come down 1, push things down, 2, and then a pair of black here and here. Don't worry that it looks like it's staggered, that's absolutely fine. Oh, let's get rid of that broken band. So then we're going to do another pair of yellow, pair of yellow, pair of yellow, and then a pair of black on each of them. Pair of black, pair of black, pair of black. Now these are going to be the shorts, okay? So what we're going to do for the shorts, I'm going to take two, go from the centre to the right, and two from the centre, oopsie, to the left, push down so you've got room. Alright, now we're going to put a little end cap on here, so take a single band and wrap it around your hook once and twice, and that's going to pop on right here. Okay, I'm going to take some skin tone bands, one pair and two pair, and on the other side one pair and two pair, like so. And we'll put our little feet on the end here. But before we do that, let's do some crossover bands. We're going to take a single black band and stretch it across these three pegs here, and then we'll take a yellow and stretch it across the three above, a black and stretch across these three, and a yellow and stretch across these three. Now we also need to do arms. You're going to take a single skin tone band, wrap it around your hook once and twice, and you're going to slide that onto a pair of skin tone, like so, and then you're going to slide that onto another pair of skin tone. Okay, so you have two pairs of skin tone. Then we're going to do a pair of yellow, one pair, two pair, and three pair. Okay, and we're going to pop that just on this little peg here. And then we're going to do exactly the same for the other side. Single band, wrap it once and twice, slide onto your first pair of skin tone, and a second pair of skin tone, and then three pair of yellow. One, two, and three. That's going to go on the other arm, which is this peg here. So pop that on. Beautiful. Now we need to do his little feet. Okay, I'm going to use brown for his shoes. So you're going to take two brown bands and wrap once and twice, like so. And you're going to slide those two bands onto these two bands that are on the end of your hook. So slide them across, like so. Do not reclaim just yet, okay? You're going to take another pair of brown bands and you're going to wrap once and twice, like so. Then you're going to take these ends here and reclaim them back. Now you're going to take a pair of brown bands and slide all of this onto them. So put the pair here and you're going to slide, I like to do the first two over, then I'll do the wrapped band, which is here in the centre, and I try and do it so it's not too messy, then the last two bands and slide those over. Do not reclaim just yet, because he's going to have big chunky shoes. Take another two and wrap once and twice, and now take that and pop back on. Instead of sliding two brown bands over, we're going to take two yellow, because this is going to be for his socks. Slide your first two bands over, then your wrapped band, then your other two. Reclaim the yellow band and angle just so that it looks like a little foot, and that is going to pop on the end here. Okay, just like that. I'm going to do the same for the other side. So two, twist once and twice, slide onto two. Don't reclaim, take another 2, twist once and twice. Now you can reclaim, and you're going to slide onto 2. You're not going to reclaim, you're going to take another 2 brown, twist once and twice. Now you can reclaim, and if you remember, this is when we get 2 yellow, and we're going to slide all of these onto our 2 yellow. Now when you reclaim this time, point it the other way, okay, so it comes away from you, and that's going to go on the other side as the other foot, like that. Now when we're doing this, we're going to have extra bands this side of his body and extra bands on the side of his head here, okay? And it can be a little confusing, but we're going to do this slowly. So the first extra bands that you're going to need are going to be, we can get rid of our brown bands, we don't need those anymore. So the first couple of bands that you're going to need to do extra with are yellow and black. So I'm going to get a few yellow bands ready and a few black bands ready. So there's some yellow and here's some black. Pull the shoe down. You're going to get those 2 skin tone bands that are just under here, and we'll loop these up. Okay, I'm going to just angle this a little differently because I feel that I'm missing. There we go. Now what we want to do is have the shorts go over his trouser, his leg. So loop up the skin tone bands first, okay? Pull this little foot back, and that can be a bit tricky. Pull the little foot back, grab the skin tone and loop up and loop up. So now what we're going to do is go down past your end cap. You've got a black end cap here. Grab the 2 top black bands. I've only grabbed 1 there, so let me do that again. Past the end cap, grab the 2 top black bands and loop to the side, and then do that to the other side. Now do you see what's happened here? It's now put the black bands on top of the skin tone ones, so that the black bands will be the ones that we see rather than the skin tone. So we're going to start here taking 2 black bands. When I do this, I tend to turn it to the side. I feel it looks a little better. Okay, so turning your loom to the side, you're going to push your hook through this peg, and you want to go through all of these bands here, okay, all of these, and take 2 black bands and pull back. Now I twist my hook so that the hook part does not snag on those other bands that are on my peg. Pull it back through like so and reclaim. So you've got these 2 bands here, okay? You're going to take another 2 black bands. You're going to pull through like so. Don't reclaim just yet. What you're going to do you see the crossover band that you have here? Let me get another hook to show you. You've got your crossover bands here. In order to do this properly, you need to tie in your extra row that we're doing here, or column, because otherwise it's going to be sort of this, you'll be able to pull it apart. It's not tied into the rest of it. So with your hook, before you reclaim the end of your bands, grab your crossover band just like this and put it on your hook so it's in the middle, and then reclaim like so. Now we're going to take 2 yellow bands, and you're going to pull the 2 yellow bands through those 5 loops like so. You're then going to grab the yellow crossover band, put it on your hook and reclaim. Now you're taking 2 black bands, and I tend to put my thumb on the peg below me. I stretch this up so that it goes through easy like that. And I'm sorry, we shouldn't have reclaimed because we're going to grab that black crossover band. And this will be our last one. We're going to take 2 yellow. Put your thumb on the peg before it. Pull through. You might need to wiggle your bands a bit, and that's okay. Reclaim. Now, you are reclaiming here because you're going to be putting it on this peg here, under where the arms are. Okay, so it's going to sit there. and this is your extra little bit. Okay, I like to tie mine in to the crossover bands. If you don't, when you pull it apart, if you were to pull this apart like this, this bit wouldn't be tied in at all. It would just be loose and floppy, and I think that looks awful. Let's do the other side. So you're going to push your hook through all of those bands, okay, that are on the side, and then with 2 black bands, pull your 2 black bands. I put my thumb on here, twist my hook, and I have them here. Take another 2 black bands, and you're basically chaining, but you're not going to reclaim just yet, because you're going to grab this crossover band, put it on your hook, and then reclaim. You're then going to change to yellow. Put your thumb on the peg and twist it through, like so. Again, you're not really going to reclaim. You can, just as you stretch up, but then you have to take it off again. Okay, so I tend not to. Grab your crossover band, and now you can reclaim. 2 black bands. Oops, flick them everywhere. So 2 black bands, put your thumb on, pull through. Again, don't reclaim, because you're going up to this one. And you can stretch your bands, that's not going to hurt them. Up to here. And this is our last one. We're doing the yellow. If I can stop flicking them everywhere. Here we go. And don't worry if your crossover bands have come off where they're supposed to be. They're easy to put back. So there we are, there's my yellow. I'm going to put these here. And now I'm going to sort out my crossover bands. I'm going to pull this to the side and just move my crossover bands back to where they're supposed to be. Okay, so there I have it. That's my little layer on here. I can put that one back here. Easy peasy. Alright, so now we're going to loop these up. Let me get the black bands out of the way. We don't need any more black bands, and we don't need any more yellow bands. So I'm going to move those. All we need now are our skin tone. So digging down here, we're going to find these 2 bottom bands and loop up. They're the black bands, okay? And find the 2 bottom black bands. Make sure I've got 2 of them. I've got 1 here. Let's go back for the other one. Where is it? Come on, you. Hiding. There we go. Loop that up. Okay? So they're like this, and if you pull it, you can see that it's perfectly fine. Like that. Then you're going to dig down and grab your 2 yellow bands. Now, at the same time, you can loop up this centre. The only thing about the centre is you don't want to loop this last one in. We do that at the very end. Loop these up. Now, just for aesthetics, just so it looks nice, I like to lift the 2 top bands of the yellow off, hold them out to one side, loop this last pair of yellow in, and then put these ones back. I prefer those to be on the top. So I'm going to do the same this side. Hold this out to one side, loop up my last bands on that side, and put these back. Now, make sure that you have the little teardrop shape. If you don't have the teardrop shape, you know that you've missed something when you're looming, and that could mean that your arms will fall off or something like that. Or not your arms, but, you know, your figure's arms. Alright, dig down. Do not forget to loop your arms in, because they will ruin otherwise. Now, we're going to dig down here, grab these 2 bands, loop to the neck, and these 2, and loop to the neck, and then we're going to do these last ones and loop up. Push everything down. You need to now find these 3, okay? So we're pushing all the way down to find those 3. Beautiful. Top 2, go to their side, and then the other two go to their side. So that's one side, the other side, and the center. The bottom ones go up the center. Now, before we go much further, again, we need to do the extensions. Now, first of all, I'm going to do my nose here. I'm taking 3 bands, and I'm going to twist once and twice, okay? Then as I lift up these 2 bands to loop up to here, before I loop them up, I'm going to slide these 3 bands on to the bands that I'm looping in. Okay, so loop them over like so and place them up here. Now you can pretty this up after the fact. Dig down now, past the end, past the crossover bands, find the bottom 2, hit your camera and loop up. Alright, now that's important because that's kind of tied that in. We're not going to forget the nose, but it's also not going to come undone because we have that looped in. We have to add ears here as well, okay? So I'm going to take 2 bands and wrap them once and twice and slide onto 2 bands. And I'm just going to put them here to be ready. Okay, so these are our little ears for when we're ready to use those. Okay, so at this point what we're going to do is go through these bands here, not the ones that we have here, okay, just this bottom pair here. Alright, as you can see, you can leave the crossover band where it is, so you're just going through these 4 loops. You're going to take 2 bands, pull through, reclaim. Take another 2 bands and pull your next 2 through. Grabbing your crossover band, reclaim. Now, to do our ears, we're going to take our next 2 bands. Okay, here are our next 2. But first, let's put our ears on our hook, like so. Okay, and we're going to take the 2 that we're going to add our ears to and pop on like so. Alright, pull this side through all the loops that you have. Don't reclaim because you're going to grab the eye band, which is your crossover, add it on and then reclaim. Then take your next 2 and pop these 5 through, grab your crossover, add, and one last one through and add to this top peg like so. Okay, so there's a little ear here. Let's do the same on the other side, going through these bottom 4 loops. Your first pair, you just reclaim. Your second pair, you do not reclaim because you're grabbing the crossover band and adding that to it. Your third pair, now if you remember, this is where we add our little ear to our hook. Take 2 bands, you're going to slide the ear on to these 2 bands like so, and then pull the 2 loops through like so. Grab your crossover band, which is the one with the eyes on, add to your hook. 2 bands, pull through these 5 loops, grab your crossover band, and here's our last 2. Now we can pretty up. Hey, come here you. Yep, we can pretty up any crossover bands that we need to. Okay, there we go. Now, dig down, we're grabbing these 2 bottom ones and looping up. Loop up. Again, if you remember, I like to take these 2 top ones off, hold them out to the side, loop up, and then replace those ones back. I just think it looks prettier. Loop up, loop up, make sure your eye is in the right spot. There you go, go back there you. Thank you very much. I'm going to take these 2 top loops off, hold them out to the side, loop up and replace. I'm going to dig down, find the bottom 2, loop up, the other bottom 2, loop up, and now this is my last set here, and loop up. I'm going to use 2 skin tone to tie off with, pushing my hook all the way down and out the back here. I'm going to pull this through by twisting my hook one over the other and tighten it off in a really tight slip knot. Now I use another hook to help me take this off my loom. I don't like broken bands. And I find this just gently eases. Where's my little eye? There he is. Gently eases the creation off the loom. Let's grab that out of the way, pull up and down, fiddle with the feet so that they are straight. I like to just pull out the sides here so it gives it the right shape a bit. Pull the legs down, make sure the bands are evenly spaced so you don't get loops. Sometimes that does happen. And stretch these out so that he's got a little round face. Now, as you can see, the ears are pointing back. What you can do is, if you look here, there's these 2 little bands here, okay? They're the outside 2 from this stitch opposite where the ears are. Lift them up and put them over the other side of the ear, and then the ear sits to the front. You can do that here as well. On the other side, find the 2 little loops, up and over, stretch them down like so, and there's your little ear, like that. If you feel the nose needs to come out a bit, just gently put your hook through and pull, and that will give the nose a bit more. You can move the eyes so that they sit in between the next bands if you want. If you feel that they're too close, budge them over just a little bit, like so, and that doesn't matter either. So it's completely up to you how you have them placed. Alright, so I prefer it like that. I'm going to hide these tie-off bands at the back of his head. So I'm going to go through some of the bands at the back of his head here, grab those 2 tie-off loops and pull back so that we can tie these off and hide them under some of these existing bands that we have here. It's a little harder because he doesn't have hair on his head. And if you find that, oh, I put it back to where it was, let's move that back. Come here, you. There we go. And you don't have to move the eyes, you can leave them where they are. It's completely up to you how you want them. Stretch the head into shape. Now I like to grab a couple of black, well actually 2 black bands. One for the mouth, one for the hair. Fiddle around with his ear a bit. There we go. So I'm going to go through these 2 center loops here with a single band, pull it through, stretch it out, and I'm going to tie a knot. Rather like for when we do a bow. Pull it down so that it's in the middle of his forehead a little bit more than I had it, like so. And then I'm just going to use scissors to snip. Now you can make it as long or as short as you want, but I'm going to do mine like that, get that little bit of black band off, and then splay it out if you want to. It's again up to you how his hair looks. I'm going to do it like that, and then I'm going to do a little mouth on him. Again, you don't have to, completely up to you, but if you decide to, what you're going to do is push your hook through. You're going to take one band and snip it. Hold it in half and pull one side of that half through so that it's like this. Making sure you don't lose that side, you're going to push your hook through the other side at the corresponding end and pull the other side through. Grab both ends, and again you can stretch these out, it's not going to hurt. Stretch them out, and we're going to tie a knot. I am horrible at tying knots, I know. Ah, there we go. I'm going to put my hook through one side, hold the other end of the loop and pull tight so that I can make the knot at the very edge of these bands. And I can see my little loop here is coming out, so I'm going to re-hide that. I think I went a bit off center, so I'm going back to the center and I'll hide them under here. There we go. You can't really hide this one, but it doesn't matter too much. And that is going to be my mouth, like so. What have I done to this poor boy's eyes? There we go. There we are. Make sure that these bands are spaced evenly. And there we have, whoops, fix his arms up. There we have my little Charlie Brown. I've got 3 of them now. I hope you enjoy making. I find him rather cute, rather fun. As I said, stretch his head into shape however you want to do it. But there we go. There are my Charlie Browns. Hope you have fun. Bye.